Hello and good afternoon. I'm Dana Stone, the Executive Director of the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra, and I'm excited to be here today live with our Music Director, Matthew Kraemer, as we begin to share the exciting 40th season that we have in store here in Indianapolis.
I'm thrilled, Dana, to announce this season. I know I say it every year, this is the biggest and best season ever, but this really is a 40th anniversary celebration all season long with some incredible guests, and I'm delighted to share that now with our patrons and our fans. I think you're going to love what the ICO has in store for you this season. We opened this important anniversary season in September 30th with Aaron Deal, who many of our fans will recall from his association with the American Pianist Association, an incredible artist. He'll be performing a work with I am just fascinated by, Mary Lou Williams' Zodiac's Suite. If you're not familiar with the name Mary Lou Williams, what a fascinating woman she was. She worked with some of the greats like Duke Ellington, and she's also a teacher and a friend, mentor to Thelonious Monk, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie. This is a 12-movement work which takes as its inspiration the astrological signs. It was composed in 1942, and it marries elements of jazz and classical music together. Aaron Deal has been a big supporter of this work, performing it with orchestras like the New York Philharmonic and the Detroit Symphony Cleveland Orchestra. We're thrilled that Aaron and his trio will be here to open our season with this fascinating work. That program also pairs Zodiac Suite with Beethoven's Sixth Symphony, known as the Pastoral Symphony. The influence of nature was very strong on Beethoven's work, and we're beginning the season again with a nature theme and also an astrological theme with the Zodiac Suite. So that's a concert not to miss. Aaron Deal is brilliant.
And I think one of the other things that's super neat about the Zodiac, I mean, obviously each movement is connected to one Zodiac sign, but Mary Lou also thought of a musician, one of her colleagues and contemporaries that held that sign and considered them as well as that sign when she was writing this. So I think there's just so many ties about this particular piece to both the astrological signs and then to her incredible colleagues in the musical industry.
It really is fascinating. In November, on the 18th of November, we continue with a work by a composer who I love deeply. Miguel de Avila is an acclaimed composer, award-winning composer, and he will actually be serving as ICO composer in residence during the 23-24 season. I programmed many of Miguel's work, including the Concerto in Tango, which was a real hit several years ago. Miguel will be with us as we give the Indiana premiere of his Concerto con Brio for oboe and clarinet. This is a remarkable new work which the ICO is thrilled to be part of the consortium. And again, we're bringing in Miguel for this important Indiana premiere. That program also features the Cézanne Suite in D major, Taillefer's Petite Suite, and Jacques Ibert, one of my favorite French composers, his Tropisme pour les Amours Imaginaires. It's a mouthful of French there. But it's a sparkling, brilliant program, I think, which showcases the brilliance of the orchestra, in addition to these this wonderful new concerto by Miguel. In December, we move on to Classical Christmas. This has been a fixture for the orchestra for many years. We have always performed the entire Messiah, and in recent years, we've kind of changed it up a little bit, performing just the Christmas portion of Messiah, and then also interspersing some new works which were inspired by the season. In this case, we'll be performing Camille Saint-Saëns's his Oratorio de Noël, a beautiful work, not programmed really all that often, scored for strings, harp, and organ. Prominent part for the chorus, obviously, here. We'll have 4 incredible soloists joining for that. And then I'm delighted to share that on the 10th, we'll bring back a real audience favorite. It was, again, a fixture for so many years, our sing-along. So that will be returning now. It hasn't been in place since COVID, but we invite audiences to join in voice with our chorus and orchestra for those great choruses in Messiah, but we'll also have a seasonal sing-along with some Christmas carols as well. So it's a great way, I think, really to get in the spirit of the season with the ICO. In January, a program entitled Silenced Voices, composers that were banned by the Nazi regime. Many orchestras have taken this as a thematic inspiration for programs. And I think that this particular program is really fascinating musically and also topically. We have a world premiere commissioned by Victoria Bond, who's written several works for the ICO in the past. But she came to us about 2 years ago with this brilliant idea to compose a work entitled Anne Frank's Tree. There's a sapling growing at the Indianapolis Children's Museum. She was taking this as her inspiration to write a new work about this very important person in her life and the incredible history that's been shared for so many years about Anne Frank. This is a new work again by Victoria Bond, also partnering with the Indianapolis Children's Chorus for a work by Charles Davidson entitled I Never Saw Another Butterfly. If you're familiar with this, it's a collection of poems written by children who were at the Terezin concentration camp. It's a very powerful and very moving collection of poems and other artwork. And Charles Davidson has scored this, several of them for orchestra. We'll perform 3 with our friends at the Indianapolis Children's Chorus, in addition to works by Schrecker, Korngold, and the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto with our dear friends over at the Indianapolis violin competition. Julian Ray is the silver medalist. He'll be joining us for that. A marvelous program, I think, of works by composers who were silenced during the Nazi regime because their music was considered degenerate or they were Jewish composers. So we look forward to celebrating these great voices in addition to a new work by Victoria Bond, and that's January 20th. We always have a silent film in March. On March 9th, though, we have a very unique project for us. This past March, we played the film score of Michael Shapiro for his Frankenstein, which was a talking movie that had no film score. This movie is even more bold for us. This is Voices of Light. It's the legendary silent film masterpiece, The Passion of Joan of Arc, but with a new score by Richard Einhorn to accompany it. And this does feature small orchestra and chorus as well. So if you've ever seen The Passion of Joan of Arc, it's a really fascinating film and really groundbreaking in so many ways. But now to pair this with a new score with vocal accompaniment, I think will be a remarkable experience for those of you who have enjoyed our silent movies in the past. On April 20th, our creative partner in residence, Joshua Thompson, will be featured front and center with a new work that he's created. This is a project that Joshua has been very passionate about for many, many years. Black Keys is the evolution of the Black classical arts, and this program is dedicated to so many of the incredibly talented and inspiring composers over many, many years who have written beautiful music, inspiring music. Joshua's program will be on the second half, Black Keys, which will be a multidisciplinary, multimedia work featuring dance, voice, in addition to composers Harry Burley, Margaret Bonds, Chevalier St. George, Culver's Taylor, Ulysses Kay, and of course William Grant Still. So there will be many artists featured on this program. As I said, it's multidisciplinary. I think it's going to be a one-of-a-kind experience, and it really is the very heart and center of the ICO's 40th anniversary season.
Yes, we're excited to also partner with Kenyete Dance to highlight the African aesthetic that they bring to their performances. So, like you mentioned, the multidisciplinary component of bringing all these artists together to really celebrate Black artistry is going to be a powerful evening.
Indeed. Our 40th season finale is a partnership, the third time around, with our dear friends at Dance Kaleidoscope. These 2 previous collaborations are some of the most cherished memories that I have on the Strahd stage. It is, if you love music, if you love dance, there's nothing better than seeing them both on stage. In traditional ballet, the orchestra is often in the pit, but be able to be on stage to so close proximity to these beautiful dancers. I know our musicians are always inspired by it, visually stunning, orally stunning. So we're thrilled that they came back to us, and we're very eager to dream up the next collaboration between our 2 great organizations. And this is a real change of pace for us, too. We in the past have performed Rhapsody in Blue, Ravel Piano Concerto. In this case, we have the Dvorak Ninth Symphony, arguably the most popular symphony in the repertoire, the famous From the New World Symphony. So we'll be expanding the ICO, slightly adding some strings and some brass players so we can take on this Very meaningful symphony. In addition to Debussy's Prelude to the Afternoon of the Fawn, one of the most beautiful works ever composed. And so I'm thrilled to see what Dance Kaleidoscope brings with this, dreaming up these two works, which were intended for concert performance. But I know that the beautiful choreography that they always bring to the stage is something that moves all of us very deeply. So those are three performances, May 17th through 19th. This is our 40th anniversary season. As I said, it's big, it's bold. There's over 300 years of music, two new featured premieres in addition to Joshua Thompson's Black Keys. So I think that this is a wonderful way for us to celebrate all the ways in which the ICO has impacted the arts and culture within the Indianapolis community.
Exactly. And I know we already have some eager patrons that have ordered tickets this morning, but want to make sure that we share the information for purchasing tickets to the 40th season. So if you are interested in a full season subscription and with the lineup that we have ahead for you, you don't want to miss anything. You can do so at icomusic.org as the ticker tape says at the bottom of the screen. You can click any part of the screen that says purchase 2 or more tickets, and that's going to take you to the opportunities to either buy for Fidelio, which is of course in 2 weeks or a week and a little bit, and then again our 40th season. So one of the major changes that we have this year is that we're opening with a full season subscription only until July 1, and then we'll open up our package tickets of 4 and 2. And then single tickets will go on sale in August. We also have 3 tiers of pricing available this year. So we have our loge, which everyone loves. And then we've separated orchestra and balcony to provide some other price points for attendees to enjoy the ICO. And finally, we're introducing a young professionals ticket. In the past, actually this past year, we reinvigorated a group for those under 40 to enjoy the ICO called Iconic. And we've had a handful of little events in conjunction with our concerts. So we're hopeful that with building this young professionals student ticket for the season, that we can keep them engaged and making the ICO part of their regular weekend activities.
I think it's thrilling all the different ways that we're connecting with our patrons. I think one of the most important parts, is in our programs are really after the concert in so many ways. You'll find our musicians out in the lobby, mingling with our fans and sharing their thoughts on the program. So I love the way that the ICO has continued this sense of family. So you don't want to miss this opportunity to sign up for a great season. If you're not affiliated with the ICO already, we've got plenty of room to welcome you in. So we look forward to seeing you at all of these remarkable concerts.
Yes, and if you have any questions about purchasing tickets, if you're tripped up by the internet, give us a call, 317-940-9607, or it's easily found online. We look forward to helping you find the best seats so that you can enjoy every concert that the ICO has to offer. All right. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you to our audiences watching now and in the future. We look forward to sharing some incredible music with our community.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.